need $400,000 income to buy a house in Santa Clara County. Well, to be affordable, to make it affordable, right? So San Jose, Sunnyvale, Santa Clara metro area, annual income of $408,000 is needed to afford a typical home sale and the highest in the nation. That's more than 8% higher than a year ago. Yep, guess what? Our track in the Santa Clara County is about 8%. For a while, it was about 12 to 15% growth. Yeah, 8%. That's about typical in this area. That's why it's important for you to buy a house and not being mamby-pamby about it. I know people that 10, 15 years ago, they're like, I'm going to buy a house when the market crashes. Well, they're still renting, and nothing personal, but that's just it. Said an annual income of 128 is needed to afford an apartment for rent in San Jose, Sunnyvale, Santa Clara metro. We consider a home affordable if the buyer is taking out a mortgage and spends no more than 30%. Now, it's usually 35%, and we go up to 45%. But yeah, wanted to show you this real quick because, I always have charts, all these exciting, fun charts. Let me break this open so you can see this. I'm going to move this over here. No, I'm going to move this over here. I'm going to move this over here. There you go. Pardon me. So this is a typical buyer's net sheet, a sample one for visualization. It's not exact. This is not for use to close on a house. You're going to get one from a title or an escrow company that will actually be more accurate for you. I use this to help visualize costs, not exact costs. Okay? When you look at it, this is how it looks. This is typically how it looks, but every cost is different because it's timing and dates and okay, enough of that. The U.S. median income is 67. I didn't check that. I know right now Santa Clara County is 195, $200,000 a year. That's the median income right now. And if you bought a house price today, that is the median income, or the median priced house is 1,845, which has gone down dramatically over the last couple of weeks, by the way. Yeah, not good, but it is what it is. We'll talk about that a little bit more. That takes 73% of your income to purchase a house, a median priced. Now, you could buy $1 million house, which is a lot less, but just for this example, it would be 73%. So it would be unaffordable if you had median price. So we're out of sorts. Good news is, like I said in my title, we're seeing the market to be a balanced market. Okay, if you made $400,000, as that article suggests, it's still 35%, not 30%. It's ridiculous. All right, that's loan to income ratio. These numbers are completely off. Don't look at that. This number right here, 35%, if it's a $400,000 income and a median priced house in Santa Clara County. Now, they're probably using more specific numbers, etc. So don't expect it to jive exactly, but that's what it is. There, see, San Francisco is the next highest, which is just above us. Shrinking gap. Well, we'll talk about that in a second. The big picture across the U.S., Americans need to earn $116,000 to afford a median price home for sale. So if you're an employer, understand that that's where you need to be, not from a socialist point of view, but in order to make a living, if you're going to hire somebody, that's the projected income that they need, right? What they're saying is become increasingly challenging for American renters to make the shift to home ownerships. Again, if you did it 10 years ago, right? Okay, enough of that. Let's go into this. Today is Wednesday. I'm actually back from my sailing trip, by the way. That was amazing. I suggest you do it. We're getting close to a balanced market. If you recall, multiple times over the last 4 years, I've said that we need to be at about 1,000 homes for sale in San Jose to make it a balanced market, not a seller's market, not a buyer's market, but a balanced market. We need to be about 1,000. Right now we're at 711, like June 11th, which is coming up. Slurpee Day is coming up. And then in Santa Clara County, we need to be about 2,000, and we're getting close to it. It's almost going to be a balanced market. That when I say 2,000 or 1,000, I mean it could be 1,800 to 2,200, making it a balanced market. It's not a flood of inventory. It's just the market is slowing down, and we're in the middle. Actually, we're at the tail end of our selling season, and we're seeing the market slow down. Right? Why? The propaganda machine is telling you. I don't care if you listen to Fox or CNN, doesn't matter. They're telling you that the tariffs are a bad thing and this and that, and rates are still high, and inflation might be coming down, and then unemployment. It doesn't matter. It matters about you. And here's the thing: if you can afford it, this is the time to do it. This is the time to buy. This is the time to buy. And I'm telling you, look. I just bought a house in Las Vegas for my parents because I'm taking advantage of this market. It's not a hot market. I don't have to spend $400,000 over list price to buy a house that I kind of don't like, right? I don't have to pay a higher price. The higher the selling cost, the worse for me as a buyer. Okay. Now, if you're selling, it kind of sucks for you, but if you're selling and buying, it's actually a good thing, because think about it. When you have lower selling costs, you're paying me less, you're paying the buyer's agent less, you're paying escrow and tax and everything else less. So that's good, right? You can buy a larger house. If you're buying a larger house, you can buy, well, it doesn't matter if you're buying a larger house or a smaller house, because I bought a smaller house than this, right? I had no competition. The days of 15, 25 offers are gone. They're gone. The market has dried up a little bit. Buyers are being a little mamby-pamby. They're like, oh my God, 7%, it's so unaffordable. It is unaffordable. It totally is. But if you can afford it, squeak by, you can buy $1 million house instead of a $1.8 million house, or get into a townhouse or what have you. Get into a house now because there's no competition, right? Real estate is like Little League soccer. Now imagine this screen as Little League soccer, right? Everybody starts out, coach is yelling, play your positions, play your positions. And all of a sudden the ball starts off, gets kicked, and then the ball goes over here, and all the kids run over here, and then they start scrambling for the ball, and there's nobody else playing their position, right? And that's what it is. A new house is on the market. So all the buyers go over there and they got to check it out. And the ball gets kicked over here. So everybody goes over here, and then the ball gets kicked over here, and then nobody's playing position, right? The analogy is you're looking for the new shiny thing, like a cat. And I'm like a cat too. We're all like cats, where we're like, we want to play with that laser beam, right? Look for the houses that have been on market 30, 60, 90 days. They're not fresh. They're a little bit focused. And if you're a seller, you got to get in this mindset. You're not going to get your house sold in 7 to 10 days right now, because the market is not where it is, unless you price it really aggressively low for the condition, location, and the market. And the market is telling you right now, be low, take what you get and move on. It doesn't matter. If you list it low and you attract 5, 10 buyers and you get offers in hand, then you don't have anything to worry about. You can pick the highest one, you can goof it up a little bit, and who cares what it sells for, because less is more. You're paying me less. You're paying the buyer's agent less. You're paying escrow and taxes less. Okay. Oh, but then what happens if that's great. You take that delta. Let's say you had a house that was worth $2 million and you got 1.5. That's an aggressive example, but you have a $500,000 delta off of the expectation of what you were going for. Now you know you can go and get $500,000 less on the next house. As a matter of fact, I'm going up to Sacramento tomorrow because we know we can get, I think it's 7.5% off of a house if we buy this week. 7.5%. It's a new house, massive discount, 7.5%. Damn right, we're going to go get that house, right? So you don't pay a premium. There's no appraisal gap. And if you need to know that, there's videos galore about that. You can ask for repairs. You can ask for inspections. You can ask to make sure you get everything so your house is not perfect, but better, right? Again, you have lower closing costs. You have lower property tax. So this is good. When we're going into a balanced market, this is good. This is what we've been waiting for the last few years. 4 years ago, 2020, 2021, we were in a firestorm. We had 25 offers on every house, and you were getting $300,000-$400,000 over list price, and that was great for sellers. But then they had to take that money and buy something else, and they had to compete. Right now, there's hardly any competition, especially if you're looking for houses that have been on market for over 60, 70, 90 days, right? So, okay, enough of that. I think I covered that. And yes, right now we're at a balanced market. All right, we're getting to a balanced market. Mountain View, home of the week is Calderon Ave, not my listing, 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 1,800 square foot, built in 1997. And you know why I picked it is because it's walking distance to Castro Street. See a trend here? Keep on looking at houses that are close to a downtown, a Main Street, USA. To me, that's the best metro market you could be in. And being that you're so far off, now Calderon is an avenue, right? It's avenue, meaning it's a semi-busy street. So that's why they priced it a little bit lower. Well, 2.8. But let's take a quick look. Oh, these are dark pictures. I love the box brownie look, man. You know, it's a standard house, looks nice. I wonder if it has an HOA. No HOA. That's beautiful. Original list price is 2.888. Now they're down to 2.8. See, we're seeing more homes sit on market longer, and we're seeing far more list price decreases, which I think is tomorrow. No, it was yesterday, but I didn't do yesterday because I just got back from sailing on the high seas. Okay, so this one called Calderon. If you're interested in looking at it, let me know. Go take a look at it. And then homes near Apple, I picked Mallard Way. Let's take a quick look. And the reason why I picked it is because it's walking distance to the Apple campus, to the spaceship. 4-bedroom, 2-bath, 1,600 square feet, built in 1961. Fairly updated, 2.99888, and it's brand new. How many days on market? 8 days on market. So we're seeing houses in Cupertino last 8 days. That was unheard of. You're like, Vito, 8 days, that's nothing. It was typical a year ago, 2 years ago. So this is an updated house. I can't see why these photos are not coming in high res. Those look like they're 480s. You know, it's a pretty house. It has a nice little ADU thing, shack back there. Yeah, there you go. $3 million. This is distressed home of the week. I'm going to say this is this distressed home of the year. I would love to have this house. $1.8 million, Monroe Street. I sold a house on Monroe a few years back. Not my listing. 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2,600 square feet, built in 2024, which I'm calling BS. But here you go. I don't know why it's there. Monroe is right there. Anywho, you're close to everything. Santa Clara City, or Santa Clara University. Let's take a quick look inside. Maybe they rebuilt it. No, this is a circa 100s. Look, you can take a look and see this one's ganked up, beat up, needs some love. Yeah, well, let's keep an eye on this one. It looks like a wall heater. The vents tell me that there's HVAC. This is a 100-year-old house. It has access to an attic. That's cool. I'm sure that it has a basement too. Probably have access to it. That was an add-on right there. With or without permits. Wow. That's a whole lot of house. Okay. This is a perfect example as to why there used to be attached garages and now we have detached garages. A little story real quick. Let me hang on here. There. This is a perfect example right here. And let me open this up. Back in the day, you used to have horse and buggy, right? And right about here was the entryway to your house. So that the buggy would stop, you would offload right here, you get into your house, and then your husband or your stableman, depending on how wealthy you were, would take the buggy and the horse into the garage or into the stable. That's why we had detached garages, because we wanted to keep the smell of the horses far away as possible from the house. Pretty amazing, huh? And now it's expected to have a 2-car garage attached to your house for easy access. But there you go. A little bit of history, a little bit of Vito knowledge. Cliff Clavin of real estate. There you go. And that's it. So if you're interested in looking at that one, give me a call. Let me know. Numbers down below. Happy to help you out. And pretty much it. That's it. All right. Thanks for watching. I'm Vito with Abitano. We'll see you out there.